Welcome to my farm here in Maine. It is my little corner of heaven on earth. I'm sorry I can't physically be with you on the other coast, but I am here waiting for a baby. My baby, my youngest daughter, is due to give birth to her first child this weekend. And I am going to be with her for her labor and for the birth of my 8th grandbaby. It's something I wouldn't miss for anything in the world, and I'm sure you all can understand that. How did I get here? In 1970, when I was 19, I moved to rural northern New England. Actually, I hitchhiked. I had dropped out of college. I did not become the psychiatrist my parents wanted me to be. I hit the road and went back to the land. What I found when I got here was a way of life that was disappearing. Growing your own food, preserving your own food, cooking from scratch, baking bread, making butter and cheese, milking the cow, keeping bees. I learned about foraging for wild food. I learned about using wild herbs for whatever ails you. I learned about fixing fences and making hay and keeping the woodchucks out of my garden. All the things that I didn't know anything about. I was a city girl from Los Angeles. We found here on the land self-reliance, self-sufficiency, and neighbor helping neighbor. We found life skills in the hands of an aging generation. We saw it disappearing and we grabbed hold of it and we didn't let go. It was the best education that anybody could ever want. And it wasn't anything money could buy. We learned it and we preserved it for future generations. Back in 1970, one of the life skills that was about to be lost was also being reborn, midwifing. Many of you know that Portland rests on traditional village sites of many tribes who created communities and summer encampments on the Columbia and Willamette rivers. Portland was largely Native American until the mid-1800s. But visitors may not know about one special spot in Washington Park where the statue of a woman stands. The statue depicts not a native of Oregon, but a Shoshone Indian woman named Sacagawea. Sacagawea, with her infant son strapped to her body, her arm extended, and her hand pointing, showing the way. Susan B. Anthony attended the unveiling of this statue on July 6, 1905. Why? Because it was the first statue of a woman, a mother, ever unveiled in the United States. Commissioned from female sculptor Alice Cooper, this project was funded by donations from women in every state in the Union. How did they do that? Without internet, without crowdsourcing? They must have really wanted it. Were there disagreements, egos, delays, frustrations, discouragement? I can't imagine that there weren't. But they were invested. And they made it happen. We have a project. We have a project to bring normal birth back to this culture so that women will know they can do it. We have a project to bring midwifery back to this culture so that women can have healthy pregnancies, safe, empowering births, and alert newborns looking into their mother's eyes. We have many fine organizations working on this project, brilliant minds, dedicated coalitions, conferences, symposiums. We are passionate. We also have disagreements, egos, frustrations. One of our biggest barriers might be our own conflicts. We must be unified around birth to make this happen. We must be invested in each other's success. No one organization, no single advocacy group can make this happen. We can only do this together. We all have to survive, and we all have to succeed. Be brave, be humble, be united. If there's one thing we've learned from our deep connection with birth, it's that courage and humility are one and the same. Thank you so much for joining us here in Portland, and have a great conference. Your children are not your children. They are the sons and the daughters of life's longing for itself. They come through you, but they are not from you. And though they're with you, they belong not to you. You can give them your love, but not your thoughts. They have their own thoughts. They have their own thoughts. You can house their bodies, but not their souls, for their souls dwell in a place of tomorrow, where you cannot visit, not even in your dreams. You can strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Strive to be like them, but you cannot make them just like you. Your children are not your children.